Lenovo joined the handheld PC gaming market almost 3 months ago. But since then, how has it held up against the competition like the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally? Have Lenovo been up to par with them, or was it just a way to stay relevant in today's market? We'll answer all those and more, but before we start our deep dive, I'm Ed, and welcome to my Tech Talk. If you ask me, the Legion Go has only gotten better since its launch back in early November, starting with all the updates that get pushed and the communication between Lenovo and us consumers. On the unofficial Legion Go subreddit, user BenM_Legion takes the time out of his day to keep the subreddit up to date on what the development team is working on and actually takes our feedback and applies it. Most of the time, us consumers have to raise hell just to get something done. So my hat is off to Lenovo for doing a great job on that. Now for the actual device, I do have some things I wish were different, but I definitely have more things I like about it than I hate. First is the display. Its 2560 by 16p is one of my favorite things about it. Whether I'm gaming or just using my Legion Go to watch some of my favorite content, it's just so crisp. The 8.8-inch touchscreen is just the perfect size for a device like this.
Not too big, but definitely not too small.
Plus, the built-in kickstand is a huge compliment to the display. I personally use it all the time and wish all my devices actually had one now. The speakers being top firing and kind of basic is probably one of my biggest downsides to the Legion Go. They sound fine, but I find myself having to turn it up more, and they are firing away from me, so definitely quality goes away. People have made 3D printed attachments to help bounce the sound back to the user, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I'll have it linked in the description below if you're interested in it. As for comfortability, it's okay. It does make my hands cramp like holding a PS4 controller would, but these corners, after a while, they just push into your palms, and added the weight to the equation, it just gets uncomfortable after a bit, and I see myself putting it down. I do wish the corners were rounded more like the Steam Decks. That complements the hand the best. It uses the Xbox button layout, so no complaints on that, and after some upward from the community, Lenovo finally gave us the option to change their dedicated UI buttons to the standard view and menu buttons. For us early investors, this was a huge annoyance as it opens up Legion's space from whatever you're doing in front of it, and it just got really annoying. Plus, one of the biggest updates yet, they fixed the dreaded dead zones on the controllers. Before, trying to play anything that required fine aim or precise movement was honestly a pain in the ass. You can also detach both controllers and use it in FPS mode, but that's definitely more of a niche type of mouse. If you use it, cool. If you don't, no big deal either. Moving on, being a Windows operating system, it does come with some difficulties. It will update Windows no problem, but for your BIOS, GPU, and your other drivers, you'll need to go and get those manually each time by going to Lenovo's website to check for updates, which isn't hard, but for your average person coming from console gaming, that might be something they aren't used to. So I definitely recommend joining the unofficial Legion Go subreddit to stay up to date on the latest updates that come to the Legion Go, because I found Lenovo's Vantage program never finds updates for me, but they are working on the Legion Space app to get these updates for us in the future, so a huge plus again on pushing updates and hopefully fixing these future problems. Now for performance. Handled any game I've tried on it, from the latest AAA games like Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Some even at the native 600p like Grand Theft Auto 5. And I'm the type of gamer that likes high details, so that was a huge plus for me. It can play any emulator from Dreamcast to Nintendo Switch with a breeze. It truly is a gaming beast. And I've had my 512GB micro SD in there since I've gotten my Legion Go, and I think it's safe to say it has survived, unlike the one I had in my ROG Ally. I will note though that sometimes it doesn't see it, so you have to restart it for it to show back up. But I think this is more of a Windows thing after waking up and won't see it, so you've been warned. For our benchmarks, let's note all games are ran at 1280 by 800, a mix of medium and low settings, AMD FSR set to balance if available, GPU VRAM set to 6GB, and my performance power draw. Because this is the targeted resolution for just about all the PC handles, and we're just trying to keep it fair. First, we ran Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar's latest AAA title, and we got an average FPS of 70, a max FPS of 109, and a minimum of 9 FPS. Second, we ran Turn 10's newest title, Forza Motorsports. We got an average FPS of 47, a max FPS of 60, and a minimum FPS of 27. Lastly, we ran Cyberpunk 2077 as a final benchmark. And for being such a demanding game, we got an average FPS of 68, a maximum FPS of 100, and a minimum FPS of 40. So from the benchmarks, you can tell this thing packs a punch. You can tinker with the VRAM, graphics, and more to try to push the Legion Go faster. And it also depends on how well the game is optimized from the developers themselves too. Overall, my experience with the Legion Go has been fantastic. And of course, my unit isn't perfect. I've had some weird bugs that after waking it up from sleep, the touchscreen won't be responsive, so I've had to restart it. A glitched looking screen that also required a restart, but nothing a quick restart hasn't fixed. You have to remember, this is a Windows PC, it's gonna do Windows things once in a while. Battery life is okay. I wouldn't go too far without a charger if you plan on playing a demanding game though. You do get 3 power options to play with to try to extend your playtime, not plugged in, but it will impact performance too. So if you're thinking of getting one, I highly recommend it for anyone that knows how a PC works, because it does require a little tinkering. Thanks for watching, come back soon, because we're going to be talking about how all these gaming handhelds stand up against each other soon.